1st and almost springtime, I wanted to pop on and show you guys a few things that will help with shoulder and neck pain. So shoulder and neck pain are a lot of the problems that I see in my clients. It's very typical. The second most common is lower back pain, and I'll get into that in another video. So a lot of times what's happening with shoulder and neck pain, especially in your shoulders, when we get knots up here and in between the shoulder blades and our rhomboids, it's usually rhomboids, your traps, either upper traps or mid traps. And then for your neck, oftentimes it's the levator scapula that makes it hard for you to turn your neck from side to side. So there's just a few movements that you can do every single day in the morning. They're really simple and they're really effective ways to try and keep those trigger points at bay when you don't have time to get a massage. So just a little bit of an anatomy lesson. So the rhomboid muscles run along the inner portion of your shoulder blades, and they work to bring your shoulder blades together on your back. And so what happens a lot of times with people is their posture is like this, right? So if you look at me, my chin is up, my shoulders are up, and my shoulder blades are protracted or they're moved forward, and that's not good spinal alignment. What you want, you don't want to be like this with your chest out too much and then your head kind of goes forward a little. But what you want is good spinal alignment. And so the spine actually has curves in it. And so your cervical spine in your neck has a lordotic curve, so it kind of curves forward a little bit. And then in your thoracic spine, where your shoulder blades are, the spine actually does curve out a little bit in what we call a kyphotic curve. But what happens in some people is they get super kyphotic or get a humpback if it gets too bad. And that's because those rhomboid muscles and the upper traps are protracted. And so they're actually tight, but they're lengthened, so they're weakened. And so exercises that you can do are going to involve bringing the shoulder blades down and together. Not too far, but down and together. And then you might feel the lats start to fire on too, which is also going to help to make the shoulders stronger. So I hear clients often say, I really need to stretch. And it's like, yes, we definitely need to stretch. And if you're having a super kyphotic curve in your back, then what you need to do is you need to stretch out the pecs right here. And you may need some trigger point work done in the pecs too, some myofascial release, but just for yourself at home. You do need to do some things to stretch out the pecs, but you also need to do some things that strengthen your shoulders. So you want to strengthen the whole shoulder girdle, the rhomboids, the upper traps, the lats, and even the rotator cuff. And that's what's going to help you to be more pain-free whenever you can't get a massage or it's just not a convenient time. And massage is an important modality that I like to use. Chiropractic can help sometimes with acute pain, but it's really up to us and how we move our bodies and how we sit to keep up with our own pain management. So the exercise I want to show you incorporates movements with the neck and the thoracic spine and also the lumbar spine down here. And so it seems complicated when you first try and start doing it. Most people have a hard time because there's a lot of moving parts to it. But once you start practicing it, it's actually very simple. I'm going to show you in a seated position what it looks like, but really you're going to be doing it flat on your back in a bridge position. So what you're essentially doing is you're reaching your arms out to the sides. What you're doing is you get in your bridge position, which I'll show you, and you reach your arms out to the sides, right? And I'll show you how to get so that your back is nice and flat on the floor. You don't want to see any arching here. Usually the lower back lifts. You're really kind of pushing that into the floor, and not so much so that your tailbone starts to lift up, but just enough that everything on your spine is flat on the floor. And then you outstretch your arms. So you're going to have this feedback of the floor on your shoulders and your arms all the way down to your lower spine. The back of your head, the base of your skull is down. So you don't want to have your head up. You really want to have a lengthened neck, but you don't want to push the back of your neck into the floor. So you have your hands like this, and it's a simple spinning and then flipping one hand over. And the thing that happens when we lay on our back is that our head starts to just kind of flop from side to side. You really want to make sure if you put your finger on the top of your head here, you feel your head spinning, right? So there's a spin that's happening. So you're going to feel the back and sides of your skull sliding
on the floor as you do the movement, right? So you got your neck doing that. And then your arms are outstretched. And what you do is as you rotate your head, and for me, I'm gonna rotate to the left, you flip your left palm down. And then you rotate it back. And then you go the other direction, you flip the right palm down. And then you rotate it back. And with your palms, you can also go spin your head to the left, flip your right palm down. Feel that stretch. So the shoulder blades are pulling down and together. So they're going like this, right? We're not just passively laying here. There's an activation, right? In the rhomboids and down in the lats even, there's an activation there. So you can spin your head, look towards your left hand, pull your right hand down, and then come back this way. And then move in the opposite direction. When you first start doing the movement, your feet are going to be pressed on the floor. There's going to be a slight rotation of the knees from side to side, but not so much that your hip is lifting up. You want to keep your whole spine stable. And this is going to train your cervical spine to rotate with your thoracic spine. It's going to keep everything nice and strong back here, and it's going to gently open up that chest. So it's an active movement, right? It's an active stretch to help to open that up. So I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm going to lay down on the floor, right? And I'm going to come down so that I have a nice flat back. Make sure your feet aren't too far out here, but they're not too far back here. Just kind of keep your knees over your ankles, a nice comfortable distance between your bottom and your heels. And then notice if I go like this, what's happening here? My spine is lifting up. So you really want to think about drawing this pubic bone up while you're pressing the lower back down, but you don't need to lift your tailbone up, right? You just want that comfortably flat on the floor. You outstretch your arms, and then you're ready to begin. I'm going to start with the feet first because that's what you can see in this video. So you're pressing into the feet, and as you rotate, notice how my knees move side to side, but you don't want to go too far to the side. This isn't like a stretch in a yoga class. You're really keeping all of this active. My shoulder blades are pulled together and pushed down. The back of my head is pushing gently. Don't push, strain to push the back of your neck into the mat. Just gently resting there. Really the action is here in the shoulders, pushing down into the feet, and I can even feel my glutes engaged. So you can just rotate your knees from side to side. And just notice how that feels in the upper back. In the lower back, I can really feel my glutes working. And then you start to rotate, right? Rotate your head. I'm going to flip my right palm down for the first one, and my hips go to the left, or my knees go to the left. And then I'm going to come back up. So it's one movement, okay? The head, the arms, and so just to give you a ground's eye view of what's going on in my shoulders and in my head, right? You lay down, your arms are outstretched. Again, nice flat back. Push those shoulders into the floor. I'm going to rotate my head to the left. I'm going to flip my left palm down. My knees are going to slightly go. So when my knees are going here, I'm really pushing into the feet. And back the other way. And then the other direction, I'm going to flip my right palm down. Knees to the right. And then bring it back. And just kind of move from side to side with breath, okay? So I like to inhale to center. And then exhale. Really sliding the head. So the thing that we tend to do is this. It's really a spin. Okay, just to put it all together, lay down on your back, outstretch your arms, really lengthen out the spine on the floor, get your feet hip distance apart, knees over the ankles. Good, really push your hands into the floor, base of the skull is down on the floor, nice and soft. And then start to spin your head to the left. Flip the left palm down as your knees go towards the left. Keep pushing the feet into the floor. Chin goes slightly towards the chest. And then bring it back. And then other direction. Knees, head, and palm go down all at the same time. You can hold it there if you'd like. And then bring it back. Then you can turn your head to the left, flip the right palm down, left knees go to the left slightly, and then bring it back. Then move to the other side, flip the left palm down, look to the right, and then bring it back. Now you can start to add on bringing a knee in, and I have my left knee in, pushing the right foot into the floor, and it's not rotating all the way over, right? Then we're losing that stability here. We want to keep it stable. So you can lift one knee up, rotate. This is my left knee. I want to rotate my head to the right, flip my right palm up, slight rotation of the hip. But I'm still really trying to pull that left hip down. There's some tension here. And then bring it back. And you can switch sides. Do it again. And then bring it back. So I hope that that is useful to you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. Also, if you've had a massage from me before and you enjoyed it, please feel free to go over to Google. I'm going to put the link in the email and leave a review if you can. I also have a website up now, and so I plan on putting more videos on a YouTube channel that I've created, and that will be up on my website. So if you're interested, please take that out. It's totally free, just for you, to help you to feel better. Thank you guys so much. I hope to see you soon.